Welcome to episode 35 of the Scaling Up podcast. Speaking of which,
we actually scaled up?
We finally did it. At least, kind of. YouTube did age restrict the video. I can't even imagine how much we would have actually scaled up if that didn't happen, but still a combined million views, even with the age restriction, is fucking nuts.
Insane.
But that being said, make sure to like this video and also hype it. YouTube has a new hype feature. Make sure to hype the video. Also, in case you guys weren't aware, we have a channel called Scaling Up Catches Official, where we catch child predators every single week with Doug and Ian. And also, Doug, you made a YouTube channel yourself, right?
Yes.
And what is it called?
Doug the Epic?
That's not what it's called.
Yes, it is.
It's Doug_Malo, I'm pretty sure.
I know what it is. I'm the smartest man in the room.
Doug_Malo.
At Doug the Epic. Oh, shit. Oh, my YouTube channel is Doug_Malo.
Which one do you search up, the at or the?
I don't fucking know. Which one do you?
I'll help you change it. I'll put the right link down below.
See? At Doug the Epic.
Yeah, but I'll help you fix it.
I'm special.
All right, so we are here today to kind of follow up on the whole situation from last week, kind of talk about new updates. So first things first, Rampage Jackson has not been arrested yet. And Doug, you've been talking to detectives. So what can you tell us from those conversations that you've had? Any updates? Will Rampage Jackson be arrested from what you're hearing?
Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind. Everything's on tape, on video. It's premeditated. Just LAPD tends to drag their feet. So the detective asked me a bunch of questions. I even asked about my implications, just because it's, you're involved and whatnot. And he goes, no, there's nothing to worry about. Like, you're just trying to get compliance. Everything was towards Raja. He asked a couple other questions about the other videos involved with the people in the back and this and that. Not for implications, just because he's just trying to get information. He's building a solid case. I say a lot. So there's that.
I cut it out, don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, say it as much as you want.
Yeah, perfect. So I talked to a detective friend of mine.
Pause real quick. People, it's rubbing off on me, but people were like, oh, why is there so many jump cuts? What did you cut out? Well, it's literally, if you watch Doug's other podcasts, you'll know.
Yeah, that's so good. Doug.
You know how it's Seth freaking Rollins? He should be Doug. Malo.
Yeah, I like that. I'm Doug Malo. Yeah, Doug Epic.
All right, this is a serious topic though.
Okay, yeah. So it's so good. The detective I talked to outside of the case, just to ask him about formalities, what I should look at, what not to look at. He was saying that this is just how LAPD works. They drag their feet. So they're building the case right now. They get all the evidence. The state's going to pick it up because there's so many people, so many witnesses. Heck, even my little brother saw it. My girlfriend, my mom, all the kids that saw it, all the people there. So that right there, they have the evidence enough to try the case. And then what they're trying to figure out is what level of premeditation is, from my understanding, is why he's trying to figure out what conversations took place, what conversations mean. He was asking me what specific terms mean exactly, and like what they mean to the person they're telling them to.
Thankfully for live streaming, they have a lot of that to look at.
It's so there, and I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to, say anything else, because it's all there.
I do want to draw a parallel. There was a situation, I don't know how many wrestling fans are aware of it, earlier this year with this guy named Wes Watson. If you guys watch John Bravo, you know what I'm talking about, where he beat up the 7-foot monster, and he wasn't arrested on the spot. It ended up taking several months for the arrest to happen.
And that was in Florida.
That was in Miami, yeah, where I would assume they get shit done faster than LAPD. So just because it hasn't happened yet, I still expect it to happen, and it sounds like you do as well, talking to the detectives, right?
Yeah.
And another big question that people have is that when you went on TMZ and you did an interview, apparently you switched up a bit and you said that Raja should not be arrested. So were you paid off?
I never said that.
Well, that's what people heard, and they're saying you were paid off by Rampage Jackson. So is that accurate? Were you?
Well, if Rampage, you want to pay me off, I'm open to it. You know what I mean?
What's your price?
Couple million, $1 million. $1 million. All right. I got things to do, It's a lot of gold chains I could buy. No, the point was this. I felt at the time that there was so much going into that this kid's so volatile that he should have never been put in that situation. The guy who brought him there was supposed to be his coach, a mentor. And if I was somebody's coach or a mentor, I would never in my life allow them to be in any type of danger to themselves, to their livelihood, their lives, their family's livelihood. I'm responsible for this person. I'm their coach, right? So what I was saying is that he shouldn't have a max jail sentence over this, because there's so many moving pieces involved in this, I have a little bit of compassion, right? He's pushed into this bad situation. He's hyped up. He got all these moving pieces, and nobody wanted to be a freaking adult and just have a better conversation than, you know, what took place. So that's what I was getting at, is not a max sentence, a mandatory mental health evaluation, like a sentence that's substantial, but not overdoing it, with a mandatory of you can't have any type of parole or anything early until you have this mandatory health evaluation and therapy program.
So those were your thoughts when you did the interview. Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say that he shouldn't be sentenced at all. Like, that never left my mouth. I was saying he shouldn't have this max sentence or this heavy sentence. Like, attempted murder, what's the max on that? Like 15 years?
At least, probably, if not
Right?
more.
So like, he's 25. Like, it's messed up what he did to Stu. It's a serious situation, so he's gonna get what he's gonna get. I'm just saying it shouldn't be throw the whole book at him. Like, let's try to take a look at what happened and then maximize how much help he can get mentally, plus the sentence. But that has to be in tandem. It's not just go rot in jail, but with mental health and a forced therapy program and benchmarks to get to, then I feel like that's a saving grace. You know what I mean? That's something that I feel like that's an agreeable thing.
So those are your own opinions. Have you talked to Rampage Jackson at all?
No, but if I did, $1 million.
And then you'll change your opinions to Raja doesn't need any jail time.
No, I won't change my opinions.
So what's the $1 million for?
Just because I want $1 million. I just would never change my opinion for money. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. I don't know if you want to see my bank account and how broke I am right now?
No, we believe you. But what I wanted to point out is just knowing Doug. I think in that situation, he was just trying to see everybody's side of it, but that's just the person Doug is. Obviously, he's not been paid off. Speaking of Stu, he's out of the hospital as of today. I saw a post. Now, how aware is he of what actually happened? Because at one point, I saw something about they said they don't want anybody to tell him what happened and to say he just hit his head in the ring. So at this point, is he fully aware of what happened?
Well, medically, when you have a head injury, you can't stress that person. So depending on where he's at in recovery, they have to break it to him slowly. So if you're hearing that he doesn't know exactly what's happening, it's because that's doctor's orders. Any type of stress that he goes through, anything that causes him sadness, anger, grief, or any of those things can actually set him back mentally. He's gonna be in like this state of fog, you know, and when you already have PTSD, you already have trauma caked in, and now you're adding another traumatic event to the brain. It's a perfect storm for all types of bad things to happen.
I believe he's aware of the basics of the situation. I'm not sure he's aware of how sensationalized it's become and kind of the gory details that we're all aware of. But I'm pretty sure he knows like pretty much what happened.
Because I noticed today the post was in third person. It wasn't him posting, so that made me curious too.
There's a lot of negativity out there on the internet because the people suck. The internet has some of the most ruthless, heartless, most terrible people who make the most god-awful videos about tragic events, and they blow everything out of proportion. And for a man that's trying to recover with any type of trauma to his head, like I said, any type of depression, any type of setback will work against him making a recovery. You know, the whole goal of this is a full recovery. And I do know that he knows of the events because some of the people that shouldn't have been in that hospital room and gave his family space showed up to the hospital room and showed him stuff that he wasn't supposed to see.
He doesn't have access to his phone currently, right?
I want it. Let him heal.
I agree with that. He doesn't need to be reading comments all day and digging deep into the story.
Look what it does to me. They give me the best advice because, I mean, it's not a terrible amount of hate, but it's enough to like perturb me. So I'm sitting there looking at stuff and I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. That's stupid. Why would, like, did Rampage bribe him?
Yeah, for people that don't know, me and Eric used to do pranks, so we're not strangers to dealing with hate.
Yeah, we saw Doug responding to a bunch of hate comments, and we literally showed him our Facebooks. I'm like, look, this is what you're gonna deal with every day if you keep blowing up on social media.
That's just how it is. Yeah. Even if you're the good guy, like even if you're doing the right stuff, you're still gonna get hate. It's just the way it is.
I mean, it's better than what it was before, I guess. I got nothing but dick pics on Facebook. That's a true story.
I heard that Syko Stu is he suing Raja specifically, or who is he suing specifically?
I know from a decent source that there are lawyers involved, but that was on the internet. I think it was X posted it, and then a couple other ones.
But is this confirmed, for a fact from your source, right?
That there's lawyers involved.
Is there any idea of who he's suing?
I think their first name starts with an R and their last name's Jackson.
Yeah, we know that there are lawyers involved, so let the process play out, and then we'll know it by ear. But I can say there's a high probability of that.
That's what's gonna happen to Raja?
Yeah.
That literally sounded like a jail door.
Straight to jail.
That's where Raja's going.
There's also one thing that needs to be cleared up from last week's podcast. You were talking about the crackhead with the face paint.
Oh, yes.
And so some people thought you were referring to the guy in the ring who tried to break it up first, when in actuality you were talking about a different person with face paint who cut a promo, a very tasteless promo afterwards.
Yeah, no. Elias, the young 17-year-old who was the first one to make contact with Raja, is 17. He's not a crackhead. He's a brave young man who had the balls to do something he was absolutely terrified of, but still went and did it anyways, and he tried. He's 17. He's not a violent person. He's not a grown man. You know, at that age, he did the best that he could, and I'm glad that nothing bad happened to him. The person I'm referring to has a missing tooth, looks like a crackhead, walks like a crackhead, talks like a crackhead, and cut a promo outside like a crackhead.
So now that this has happened, you've gotten a lot of positive attention, Doug. What's next for you as far as in wrestling and just in general? What are your plans moving forward?
I don't know now. I want to get to an upper echelon, and I want to be somewhere, and I don't want to sit here and have to deal with all this drama anymore. I feel like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I say how I feel or I just tell the truth, you know what I mean? I don't know. It gives me a bunch of anxiety, dealing with this whole situation. I want to get signed. I want to go somewhere. I'm cool with AEW, MLW, WWE, anywhere, right? But all of this shit leaves it up for everyone to speculate on, and the truth always gets buried. You know what I mean? And then years later, it might come out and it's oh, that was the truth. They were right. They were this, right? But I feel like right now, it's the best thing for me to do is just shut myself in a room and be quiet, because this is a lot. I didn't ask for any of this shit. All I did was break up a fucking fight or attempted murder. It's a lot. I put the video out there. I was upset and I just wanted to tell the truth, and I feel like it's turning into everybody just wanting to fucking set shit on fire because they're angry. If I don't get fucking signed because I'm telling the truth, then fuck it. Truck driving is a great career for me, you know? But it's just at the same time, I want that thing. I want what I want so bad, you know, but then I also have the problem of disobeying my moral compass, you know, and I can't do that. That's what I'm stressed about, right? That's why I'm sweating right now, because that's what I'm thinking about. Is this all of this bullshit gonna cost me an opportunity because people are gonna overhype it, over-speculate it, take things the wrong way? All I'm doing is talking, you know, and I get so much anxiety from it, but you know, if the truth's what brings me back to truck driving full time, then I'm gonna honk my horn and have fun. It's a bad situation. I have no certainty.
I don't see anything outrageous that you've said, but at the very least, you've built up a bit of a following, and people definitely appreciate your truth from what I've seen for the most part.
It's just the truth, you know. I have all this attention from fucking people. I don't know what end is up. Shit's got me fucked up.
All right, so on that note, I guess we're gonna wrap it up. We'll keep you guys posted with any updates. Doug, where can people find you?
Doug_Malo, or just the Epic on Instagram.
And I do want to shout out Ian too. His Instagram is Ian the Captain Morgan. I don't know how you ended up being the ultimate heel after the last video, because if you were there,
If I was there, let me tell you.
I think you're the true hero in all of this.
I don't know if I'd be here if I was there. You know what I mean?
Well, thank God you're here.
Thank God I'm here.
Who knows what would happen here if you weren't here?
This bench would flip that way is what would happen. Fast.
I mean, in my personal opinion, I do think Doug is a hero, but with all due respect, I mean, this is...
He is the captain.
Yeah, if he was there.
If he was there.
Thank God I'm here.
That's the moral of the story. Thank God Ian's here.
I sure as fuck appreciate him.
All right. Until next time, we're out of here.